Ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes of a craft fair? I'm going to tell you all about it in today's Q&A. Hi there and welcome to a new video. My name is Irene and you are watching the Sugaridoo channel. A channel all about happy crafty projects for quilting and crochet. And today we're going to talk about craft fairs. A few weeks ago I attended a Sugaridoo. That is the biggest craft fair in the Netherlands. It's a craft fair over 5 days and it's super big. So many people visit that craft fair. You got a glance of it in a video which I posted two weeks ago, 2 weeks ago I think. I will post the link somewhere over here. And well, I attended the craft fair and it was the biggest for me which I've done so far. I already attended the Handwerkbeurs a few times, which is in Zwolle, and that's a craft fair that takes 4 days and it's a little bit smaller, but that one is only for knitting and yarn and crochet and quilting, so everything that has to do with yarn and fabrics. And whereas the Sugaridoo is a bigger craft fair and you can also buy supplies for cake decoration, for card making, for hand lettering. So it's a bigger craft fair. So the Sugaridoo was very exciting for me to go because it was a stretch for me. I haven't done anything so big. And while I was preparing for it, I got a lot of questions via Instagram and messages about the preparations, and I thought I'm going to make a Q&A about it to share everything I know about craft fairs with you. If you've watched my previous video about the Sugaridoo, you noticed that I talked about starting to knit, and this is my first sock. Yes, it's a practice sock. There are a lot of holes and it's not very even, and it's even too small for my feet, so I'm just going to make one of these and I'm already starting on a new pair of socks. So this is my practice sock, but it is so much fun to make. I really love it. So I just wanted to share that with you. But now we're going to start the Q&A. Question 1. How do you attend a craft fair? Well, that's a very simple question. You just sign up. Every craft fair in the Netherlands has a website. I'm not sure how that is in other countries, but on that website you find information and a form you fill in, and that way you sign up for the craft fair and then they contact you, or it's a little bit different for every craft fair how that goes, but that's basically it. It's not on special invitation. When you have a crafty company, you do have to have a business, of course, but if you have a crafty business, then you can sign up. The second question is, how much does it cost? Well, that depends on a few different things. Oh yeah, first of all, yes, you have to pay to attend a craft fair, and the costs vary on a few different things. So first of all, the longer the craft fair is, the more expensive. So you have craft fairs which are 2 days or 5 days, so that can make a craft fair more expensive. And then how big is it? So how many people visit a craft fair? If it's a very popular one, prices will probably be higher than for a less popular one. And then of course, how big of a booth do you want to get? When you go to a craft fair which is 2 days and you have a very small booth, or maybe even just a wooden market stall, then it's way less expensive than when you go to the Sugaridoo and you have a super large booth. Yeah, so that's a big price range. So in the Netherlands, a craft fair would cost you somewhere between a few hundred and a few thousand euros. Question number 3. How much time does it take and when do you start preparing for a craft fair? Well, this is a very interesting question, especially for me because I learned so much with the last craft fair that I did. And well, how much time does it take to go to a craft fair? That really depends on what kind of product do you have. So things I need to do to go to a craft fair is assemble crochet kits, make quilting kits, cut quilting fabric, place orders for my yarn and my supplies, arrange for people to help me, make planning, do marketing, so on my own social media, letting people know that I go to the craft fair, lots of things, and that will differ for everyone who has a business. But then the question, when do you start? Well, the best thing is to start as soon as possible. So when you know you're going to a craft fair, just start right away. And with the Sugaridoo, I postponed things a little bit, so I started preparing late, and then it can get a little messy and stressful, but just start as soon as you know you're going to a craft fair, so then you have all the time. And like now, I'm going to a craft fair in February, and that is in Zwolle, the Handwerkbeurs, which is a very fun craft fair to visit. And I'm already starting to prepare, and I set a deadline for myself that I have to finish everything by the beginning of January, which will give me 1 month of things and ideas and marketing stuff that will pop up and that I want to do, but I want to finish placing all the orders and assembling kits and everything in the beginning of January. So one example of preparation is that I want to launch my tree house quilt on the craft fair in February, and I'm now making that quilt. So the pattern is sort of finished, and I'm now making the quilt, but I still have to order fabrics for the kits, and when the fabric comes in, I have to cut it, and I have to print the pattern and then assemble the kits. So yeah, it's really necessary to start now, so I have time to finish everything. But when I start now, I can work on it maybe an afternoon a week or a day a week, and then it will all be in time for the craft fair. Question number 4. Do you all do it by yourself? No, I don't. I cannot do everything by myself. Sugaridoo is mostly a one-woman show, so I love to do everything in my business by myself. But for craft shows, that is a little bit different, and I got a lot of help from everyone. And some of you asked, well, how do you arrange that? Well, I'm not sure, but I guess I just have lovely family and a lot of lovely friends that just want to help me out. So Martin, my husband, is doing some extra care for Shu, and also my mother-in-law or my mother will step in there if needed. And then during the craft fair, my father-in-law loves to help me with my booth, so he helps me setting everything up and taking it down, and yeah, that's wonderful. It's also really nice to have someone to discuss the setup with, and he makes things like this and displays, so my booth looks really stunning because he can just build that on the spot. And then on the craft fair itself, I have help from lovely friends who help me during the day, keeping me company in the booth and helping me help customers, because you cannot do that by yourself. When you're going to a bigger craft fair, then it's really not doable to just be on your own in the booth. And yeah, Angelique even helped me 5 full days during the last Sugaridoo, and my mom always loves to help me a few days, and yeah, so every day I have people who come and help me, and that is awesome. I'm super grateful for that. Question number 5. What do you bring to a craft fair? Well, my main business is patterns, so I love to design patterns, and that's the main product that I sell on craft fairs. And I sell everything that goes with that. So when I sell a crochet pattern, then I also sell it in kits. So let me show you. So here we have Polly the chicken, and I have a pattern for that, and then I have a kit where everything is inside. So you only have to have a crochet hook and some stuffing, and then you can start crocheting. So that's what I sell for crochet, but I also sell yarn. So when you have a pattern and you want some different colors, then you can pick them out yourself. And for quilting the same, so I have quilting patterns and I have kits for quilting, and also I have fabrics, and next to that I sell tools. So I sell crochet hooks and rotary cutters and rulers. So I sell everything that also a beginner might need to start crocheting or when they want to start quilting. So that's what I bring. And then the last question, which might be the most difficult one for me, the reason why I kept postponing stuff for the Sugaridoo, is the question, how much do you bring? Because when you know exactly how much you bring, you can start making everything and you can start ordering stuff. But when you are not sure how much you're going to bring, then it's difficult to get started. And that was what I struggled with the most for the Sugaridoo. But I learned a lot from it, and now I know exactly how to decide what I'm going to bring, and also to stick with my choice and be happy with it. Let me explain. So how I decide what I'm going to bring is I set a financial goal. So I set a goal for a day, what I want to have on, what I want to earn as revenue on one day. And then I calculate that back to how many products that I should bring. So I have a list of all my products, and then the pricing for that, and then an estimate of when I want to earn this amount of money, how many products should I sell. And that gives me a nice overview of how that revenue looks in a product list. And when you set a financial goal with which you would be very happy when you reach it, then you can calculate it back to how many products you should bring. And that really helps, because there are two scenarios that can happen. On one side, you could end up with a lot of leftover, and that would give you an opportunity to learn. So when you have a lot of products left over, so you brought too much, then you can look at what products did sell very well and which didn't, and then you can learn from that and do better on a later craft fair. And the other scenario is that you sell out completely. Well, then you reach your financial goal, and that's only a reason to party, right? So either way, if you do sell out completely or you just sell a tiny bit from what you brought, it's a very good learning lesson, and you will learn from it for next time. So I guess that helps me now with setting my goals for the next craft fair and knowing exactly what I want to bring. Because last craft fair I kept thinking, when I bring this amount of crochet kits, maybe I sell out and then I'm disappointed, or maybe I make way too much and then I've leftover, and then I did all this hustle for nothing. And I was constantly debating with myself, and that postponed me from really taking action and starting to prepare. So that wasn't a good thing. So in February, I guess it will all go very smoothly and I have 1 month of buffer to do all the things that will pop up at the end. But yeah, that is how you could determine what you should bring and how much you should bring to a craft fair. Well, that was my view on some of the things you asked about craft fairs. If you also attend craft fairs and have things you want to share, which I or other people who read the comment could learn from, please pop them in the comments below. And also, if you visit craft fairs and you have lovely ones in other countries that I should know about, please let me know. I would love to learn about other quilt shows or crochet shows. Crochet? Probably won't be crochet shows, maybe more craft shows, but just let me know in the comments below. I would love to check them out, and maybe I could go and visit some. And that was it for today's video. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, because then you will never miss a new Sugaridoo video. I hope to see you next week. Bye bye!